Hi everyone, it's Dr. Ozzy here. Welcome to the More Than a Pretty Face podcast. Hey guys, it's Dr. Ozzy. I'm sitting in my office with Lacey. We're sort of in on this go, go, go mode today. So finally tracked her down and we are so excited to be recording another podcast for you guys. Hey Lacey.
Hey everyone. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Busy. I'm glad you found me.
I know. I'm always looking for you, though. It's not just one time. I'm constantly, where's Lacey? Where's Lacey?
I'm running around the office with my fire extinguisher.
I'm so happy you're back with your fire extinguisher because I would have burned the house down. So I'm glad you're back.
Me too.
So do you have a beauty and blemish this week? Or?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. My beauty is the road trip that we took. Oh, it was so good. We went to the Redwoods and then we went to McLeod Falls and it was beautiful.
Oh.
And Remy was so good on the ride there. The blemish would be I didn't realize that it was going to snow in McLeod waterfalls. So there was snow coming down.
What? Like
crazy. So we had to make that hike there and back with a baby strapped to me and it was fun. It was a fun...
What an adventure.
Beauty blemish in one.
Only you could do a road trip with a 3-month-old like that.
I know. Another couple happened to be there and they had a baby, but 10 months or almost a year. And they're like, wow, only 3 months? What an adventure, baby.
I know. Remember you were like, we're about to take our first trip with Remy. And I was like, oh, God.
You had me worried. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't too bad.
I mean, ours was adventurous too, but I guess I'm not as adventurous as you are.
Well, how about you? What's your beauty and blemish?
I would say I got to go skiing.
Oh, yeah.
For the first time this year.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was just great being outdoors in the fresh air.
Yes.
And it was snowing there too.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And it was great. I got to spend time with my family. It was just really nice to be away because we've with COVID, get in this routine.
Yes.
And it's becomes almost like Groundhog's Day.
Absolutely.
Where you're doing the same thing over and over. Although, thank God, I'm so grateful for my patients. I'm so grateful for our company, our practice. Otherwise, I don't know what I would do.
I know.
So anyway, the point being, it's nice to change up your routine and get out of town. And whether you're hiking or whether you're doing something active. So that would be my beauty.
Yeah.
And blemish, I don't think I really have one.
Good.
I don't want to share my blemish.
Okay.
It's confidential.
I don't know. Isn't that what this is all about? Getting deep and dirty and hearing all the goods.
Well, I can tell you, I'm still struggling with these rubber bands and this Invisalign. It's kind of gross.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
It's like boing, seeing the rubber bands fly out of my teeth. And it's so bad now. My husband calls them dentures. Oh. Are you going to take your dentures out now? You can take them out and in. So I guess that's my blemish.
Well, before we jump into the rest of this podcast, you guys, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and send us all your questions. We love hearing them. Our handles are at Skin by Dr. Ozzy and at La Jolla Med Spa. So many people want specific procedures done, but they just really have no knowledge on them. So today we're going to be breaking down some of the most popular procedures in our office and who makes a good candidate to know how long the results last. Well, you've got it covered to tell everyone what's going on here.
All right. So it looks like the first procedure is EyeGLOW. I think we do a lot of EyeGLOW. Several times a day, every day.
Yes.
And actually, speaking of EyeGLOW, today I turned away 3 patients for EyeGLOW.
Yeah.
Let's talk about EyeGLOW, guys. So EyeGLOW is something that I've developed over the past 15 years, and it uses a white opaque filler that helps lift the under eyes, brighten the under eyes, and reduce dark circles. Because a lot of times we get hollowness under our eyes, and that hollowness casts a shadow, which then causes dark circles.
So hollowness is why you'd want to have EyeGLOW? Or?
That's right. So if you don't have hollowness, if you don't have volume loss, then you're not a filler candidate, whether it's a hyaluronic acid filler or whether it's the EyeGLOW filler, the white filler. It doesn't really matter. You're not a filler candidate.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really, really important when you're making an evaluation that you really look at the reasons for your dark circles. Is it because you have allergies? Like one of the girls had allergies, and after talking to her more and more and more, then I told her, look, your dark circles is not from hollowness. Fillers will not help you. If anything, it'll make it worse.
Yeah.
Your dark circles are from having allergies, rubbing your eyes, getting red, sort of irritation around your eyes that then turns dark.
Yep.
And so that's why it's so important, that cosmetic evaluation, to have a unbiased, honest evaluation to make sure that the treatment you're getting is really the right treatment for you.
Yes.
And so that is really important to me, because when I look at someone, I think, okay, if I do this, is this going to be a good before and after? And I would say 95% of the time, it's the right procedure. But, sometimes you get a few of those cases where, maybe you didn't lift as much as you want, or maybe they need a second session, or maybe it's a combination of things that they need. It's not just a filler, but it may be also a laser, some eye skincare, maybe, a different laser, and so forth. So, our bodies are complex. We're not plastic. We are living beings. And so that's why it's so important. Now, the EyeGLOW tends to last. I get this question a lot. How long does it last? For most people, it lasts for several years. And the reason for that is because the filler is injected very, very deep. And when it's injected deep, it tends to stay around longer. It doesn't get broken down as quickly as if it was injected elsewhere. And the procedure, they ask, what is the procedure like? The procedure is sort of, it sounds like it'd be painful, right?
Right.
I mean, you see me do these on Instagram videos, and it's this gigantic needle coming under the eye. You only feel that initial little prick with it's actually not a needle, but a cannula, which is not sharp like a needle. It's blunt. It's when the cannula enters the skin, you'll sort of just feel that for a second, but then you don't feel pain, but you sort of feel the filler going in and pressure.
It's just such a unique feeling. It's so hard to describe to patients. And I've asked them after their procedure, how would you explain it back to us? It's unique. That's what I get every time.
Yeah, it's just, you sort of feel it, but it's not painful. The most important thing is come to your appointment, whether you're having any type of injections, having had eaten.
Yes,
because we keep these chocolates in our rooms, because a lot of people come in, they haven't had any food. Yeah, they sort of get overwhelmed by the procedure. The blood pressure, drops, and then they sort of can faint. But it doesn't hurt, really. It's just a little bit unusual sensation. But what I love about it, it takes 10 minutes. It's almost like instantaneous. You do start to swell after the treatment, but you get this kind of window where you see it right away. And people walk out with no bruising, a little bit of swelling, and they can put their makeup on, that night or that day. There's really not much downtime. The recovery is super easy because the cannula technique, very little trauma happens. It's not sharp like a needle.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. It's probably why it's so popular.
Yeah, we love it too.
Okay, now for the second procedure, let's talk a little about Botox. What is it, and who's a good candidate?
Well, Botox is like the best invention ever. I
Seriously.
mean, it's literally just a few little injection points, and in 2 weeks, you look so amazing. And it really is one of the most amazing aesthetic treatments and the most popular treatment, I think, in our office and probably every cosmetic dermatology office. So Botox is a protein. Now, there's 4 different types of toxes or Botoxes, and they're essentially all about the same. They have slight variations to people who really know their neurotoxins, but in general, they're all anti-wrinkle, they all relax muscles, particularly the muscles in the upper third of the face. Those are the muscles that sort of cause our 11 lines in between our eyebrows that makes us look angry. They cause our forehead lines that give us those little wrinkles going across our forehead, and the crow's feet lines that come up around the eyes. So when you relax the muscle, it smooths the skin, and that's because the skin is no longer being crinkled up.
Right.
So it's best to start it before you get the deep lines, but it's never too late, because if you are starting to get the deep lines at rest, then if you start getting Botox, they'll sort of soften over time, because as the muscle relaxes, the skin smooths. But other reasons are, I think you probably noticed this too, that it does help just the quality of your skin looks better. Your pores look smaller. Your skin looks shinier and smoother. And I love it because it sort of helps lift your eyebrows, helps elongate your brows, and just gives you, that more rejuvenated look.
Fresh.
If it's placed right. Now, I always say, Botox is like a paint, guys.
Yes, that's important.
You can give this paint to 10 different artists and you will get 10 different canvases, because we've all noticed, that Botox that's, like we had that one woman, this poor woman who drove in, I think from Arizona, to see us, and she had gotten a Botox procedure, and unfortunately, they had sort of knocked out the wrong muscles, and she had already sort of heavier brows.
Yes.
And poor thing, this was her first Botox experience, and it had sort of dropped her brows
more.
And this has happened to a lot of people, and unfortunately, you can always add more Botox. You can't take it away. You got to wait for it to wear off. The good news is it wears off.
Let's jump into how long it lasts.
It lasts about, I tell people 6 to 8 weeks, you'll start to see the movement coming back. And then by 3 months, it's back to exactly where you were before. Now, if you have been getting Botox regularly for a number of years, you've sort of trained your muscle not to move. And so you can go longer. You can go 4 months and then 5 months and 6 months. So it just depends on how often you've had it, how many years. In fact, if you've had it for too long, it's probably good to take a break and let your muscles work again, because it's sort of a balance, You don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it because you don't want the lines.
Yeah. And if you don't use it, you lose it.
That's right. So your muscle integrity goes down. And so it's sort of a balance.
Well, let's finish off with a favorite, my personal favorite, our BBL procedures.
Yes, I love the BBL. So BBL is like an IPL. It's broadband light, whereas IPL is intense pulse light. Other people know it as photofacials, but it uses a multitude of lights to rejuvenate the skin. So different wavelengths of light have different targets in the skin. So some target melanin, which is the brown spots. Some target hemoglobin in blood vessels, which that's how you remove broken capillaries, red blotches. And so it's great for that brown, red, weathering, discoloration that so many of us, especially in Southern California, get.
Absolutely.
So it helps sort of clean the skin, rejuvenate the skin. It helps even out skin tone. It helps with pores. It helps collagen stimulation.
So all of that is an excellent example of why it's so popular.
That's true. In Southern California, we love the sun and it's nice every day. And so it does help rejuvenate the skin from the sun damage that you've accrued or from just aging in general. And as a side effect, it also does a little hair removal.
Just a little bit.
And what woman wouldn't want that as a side effect of their laser? As a side effect, you get hair removal too.
And not to mention, there really is no downtime.
Yes, that's what's nice about it. All the things that it targets are under the surface of the skin, so we don't really have to touch the surface of the skin. So a good candidate would be somebody who is, lighter skin tones. It's more risky in darker skin tones. Somebody who doesn't have a tan. So if you have a tan, IPL and BBL may actually cause a burn. So you got to be really careful. It's great for patients with rosacea. Red is more difficult to remove. So like rosacea patients, a lot of times will need multiple sessions. And this goes for IPL as well. But it's a great sort of overall rejuvenation without the downtime.
I love it. All right. Well, let's jump into what our questions are. We have so many questions here. Let's pull this one. Hi, Dr. Ozzy. I have a super big visible pore. What procedure would be best for diminishing that?
Are you talking about that one pore? You know how you
That you
get
just
one pore that sort of
focus on?
dilates?
And the more you look at it, the bigger it gets.
Well, sometimes we can get that one pore, or some people have more, but they get that one pore that sort of opens up wide.
Mhm.
That's called a dilated pore of Weiner.
Such a
if
funny
we're
name.
looking at technical terminology here. But in general, pores do get larger with age. They get larger with sun damage, believe it or not, and with collagen loss. And there's really pore size in general is genetically predetermined.
Yes.
Right? So some people just have what I call sebaceous skin or porous skin. And yes, there are ways to improve it, but it'll sort of go back to the way the nature would have had it. Sun protection is a must because sun makes our pores bigger. And I think being on an exfoliant regularly, whether it's Retin-A, which is my favorite, I think that does the most for pores, or salicylic acid or glycolic acid. Like people love the Lift and Renew that has the retinol in it, as well as the niacinamide and vitamin C. And so those sort of products help delay the pores from getting larger with aging, and they help clean out the pores. So clean pores are less visible than pores that are sort of clogged with debris and so forth. So I think that is super important, skincare. And then in terms of in-office procedures, so things that make the pore appearance better, they may not really change your pore size, but they make your pores look better, would be things like microneedling is great for that. It stimulates collagen, tightens the pores. And I love the BBL. That's always helps out with pores. And like a laser resurfacing that stimulates and tightens collagen, like the profractional laser or the halo laser. There's the Fraxel laser. All those can help with reducing the appearance of pores.
And don't forget the Diamond Glow.
Oh, yes. And Diamond
So
Glow is
popular.
a great facial. It does a little microdermabrasion. It does the vacuum that sucks out all the pores and makes it cleaner. And then we can infuse different serums, whether you have dry skin and you want hydration, or whether you've got discoloration, we can do the brightening serum. So Diamond Glow is another great treatment. Well, this was awesome. So informative. Thanks so much, you guys, for listening to this episode. Hopefully, you learned something you didn't know before, and we answered your questions about some of our most popular treatments. Make sure you find us on Instagram at Skin by Dr. Ozzy and at La Jolla Med Spa. And don't forget, please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. And we're on YouTube, Skin by Dr. Ozzy, and TikTok. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want to see on my social media pages. Would love to hear from you.
Love to hear from you guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys.